1978 was a year that not only marked the deregulation of airlines in the US, but also set the stage for a global transformation in the aviation industry. Picture this. This industry, once bound by government restrictions on entry and ticket prices, suddenly took flight into a realm of newfound freedom. Enter the 80s, a decade that witnessed a groundbreaking shift in the way airlines did business. The industry that once relied exclusively on financing and was operating on a lot of debt was now booming, ushering in a new era where profits soared not in the air, but in the loyalty programs. In 40 years' time, these loyalty programs would become subsidiaries worth much more than the airlines themselves. American Airlines, for example, is the second largest public airline company in the world, and its loyalty program is worth 4 times more than the company itself. These ingenious strategies, once a secondary aspect of airline operations, have now become pivotal for the industry as a whole. Loyalty programs emerge as the unexpected heroes in the airline industry, bolstering revenues and redefining the essence of airline profitability. Fast forward to 2023, and the airline industry is a realm of paradoxes. Despite an average debt that's about 5 to 6 times the value of the companies themselves, airlines manage to keep their financial engines running. How, you might ask? Well, it's all in the numbers, or more precisely, the creative accounting methods that make their bottom lines appear more robust than reality. Imagine this. Airlines, despite frequent financial turbulence, still manage to turn a profit. How is this possible? The answer lies in a clever accounting trick called depreciation. This method allows airlines to spread out major expenses, like aircraft and hangar costs, over several years, presenting a more optimistic financial picture. But the real magic happens when we delve into the realm of loyalty programs. These programs, with their alluring points and perks, not only bolster profits, but also serve as the smoke and mirrors that make airlines look more profitable than they truly are. As we soar through the turbulent skies of airline economics, a startling revelation awaits. In this era, airlines aren't merely in the business of flying, they're in the business of points. The jaw-dropping value of loyalty programs now overshadows the very essence of the airlines themselves. In 2018, American Airlines was earning $14.42 per seat for every mile flown, yet spending $14.85 to operate each seat for the same distance. A seemingly precarious situation, right? Surprisingly, American Airlines still soared high with a $1.9 billion profit, thanks to the whopping $4.2 billion revenue generated by its loyalty program. Loyalty programs, akin to the familiar punch card from your favorite local diner, have evolved into intricate systems. The concept took flight in 1981, 3 years after the deregulation of the aviation market. American Airlines pioneered the first loyalty program, initially met with lukewarm response. However, the tide turned when consumers realized the potential of accumulating points for future travels. But it didn't stop there. American Airlines, realizing the goldmine they had in their hands, started selling points to other businesses. Take Hertz, for instance, the first to jump on board. The car rental giant bought points from American Airlines, each point for 1 cent, and offered them as incentives to its customers. This strategic move not only increased consumer loyalty to Hertz, but also became a lucrative source of income for American Airlines. In the early days, consumers would pay an average of 25,000 points for a domestic trip. So, in theory, consumers renting cars from Hertz paid around $250 for a domestic flight, 25,000 points at 1 cent per point. The variable cost of a domestic flight was $15, leaving American Airlines with a lucrative long-term profit outlook. In the wake of the loyalty program boom, a new player entered the scene: bankers. The year 1987 marked a turning point when American Airlines joined forces with Citibank, giving birth to a groundbreaking credit card that would redefine the landscape. For every dollar spent on the card, consumers earned loyalty points in American Airlines program. This collaboration not only fueled air travel, but also propelled the use of credit cards into the forefront. The allure of accumulating points for every dollar spent became irresistible, creating a symbiotic relationship between airlines and financial institutions. But here's the twist. Loyalty points, despite their tangible value, weren't considered actual money. This meant no taxation on the points, making them an even more enticing reward. During this time, passengers earned points based on the distance traveled. This led to a peculiar scenario where taking a flight with multiple connections yielded more points than a direct flight, an unintended consequence that airlines had to address. To counteract this, airlines shifted their strategy. Points earned became tied to the dollars spent rather than the miles traveled. The era of dynamic point pricing was born, where the number of points required for a trip depended on the demand for that particular flight. If a flight was nearly full, passengers would need more points, and if it was empty, fewer points would be required. This shift might seem obvious now, but in the early days, point costs remained fixed regardless of fluctuations in ticket prices. Today, a significant portion of loyalty program profits stems from partnerships with banks and credit card companies. Banks continually purchase loyalty points from airlines, expanding their consumer base and creating a perpetual cycle of profit. As we conclude our journey through the inner workings of the aviation industry, a clear pattern emerges. The true gold lies not in ticket sales, but in the realm of loyalty points. Today's airlines have masterfully tapped into a formula that transcends traditional profit models. Loyalty programs, once a side note, have become the bedrock of airline profitability. No longer just a means to retain customers, these programs have evolved into sophisticated currencies, with points and perks shaping consumer decisions and, ultimately, airline revenue. In a world where airlines were once seen as flying machines, we now witness a paradigm shift. They are, in essence, loyalty businesses, sophisticated enterprises thriving on the loyalty of millions annually. The narrative has evolved from selling tickets to cultivating loyalty, and the balance sheets reflect this transformation. This isn't just an isolated trend, it's a global phenomenon. Virtually every airline now boasts a loyalty program, illustrating the universality of this practice. It's no longer a question of whether an airline has a loyalty program, but rather how strategically it leverages this program to drive both customer allegiance and financial success.